In today's video, I am going to be breaking down a couple of drills that you could run to help your players run routes much easier and much better. So let's get down, let's check out these amazing drills. So obviously I do have these pylons spread out every 20 yards. Obviously you're not going to be doing that in real life. However, the lines here are just super close to each other and I just wanted to have some space to be able to draw this out. Generally, you could do this every 5 yards. You could run this every maybe 8 yards for the first pylon and maybe 20 yards or 15 yards for the next pylon. It's totally up to you, but essentially what we are doing is we are organizing basically a visual cue for our receivers to see where they need to start their cut. So, for example, we can run to that first pylon and then cut in or out depending on where we have this line of pylons. So if we have it along the sideline, then what you would be doing is obviously short in as well as slant style cuts at that first pylon. At the second pylon, we can do stuff like a deep out or a deep in depending on where we have the pylons. And these cuts are very, very simple. What I'm mentioning, a short in is, of course, running straight and then cutting across. And then a deep in would be, of course, going to that second pylon and then cutting in. Vice versa, if the pylons were down the middle of the field and we were cutting out, that would be a short a short out as well as a deep out. We could also run, if we made these a bit wider, and say to that first pylon, we could run up to it and then cut out. At that point in time, we would be running a corner route, and then if we then cut in instead, that would be obviously a post cut or a post route. But especially at the younger age, those pylons will really help your team be able to visualize where they need to cut. At the older age groups, you don't necessarily need to run the pylons, but what you could do, even at the younger age group, is to have a secondary line, and then before the actual player starts, the offensive player, we can have that first player in that defensive line to start at that first pylon, and we can have our players run that route, and then that defensive player has to try to intercept that pass from the quarterback. So for example, here we would have player 3 do a quick, let's say, short in cut or route, and we would want player 2, blue, to try to run in front to try and disrupt that pass. Now, later on, maybe a few times through, a few reps through, we can teach this player, hey, if this man is actually legit trying to jam you and try to cut in front so that that pass doesn't get there, you can then cut quickly out downfield, or you can cut back just to try to get open. It really comes down to your own personal strategy or your own team strategy. But these are just great options to be able to teach our players how to deal with a strong defensive-minded player, or how to be able to deal with a player trying to jam you without trying to allow you to receive that pass. Those visual cues are very important, especially at that younger age group, so that they know, hey, this is where I need to run to. And then you can really start working on their foot speed as well as their actual footwork altogether. You don't want to have them go stutter, 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 stutter all the way up to the pylon. You want to go bang, bang, bang. 3 steps, that's it, cut. 2 steps, bang, bang, cut out. You want to really have them work on as short of a short amount of time as possible when doing those stutters, so that they can cut out quicker, but also so that it doesn't really slow them down all that much when it comes to the actual cut in or out, depending on the route that they are running. I hope that this drill helps your team. If it does, hit that like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.